So Roboflow Rapid might be a pretty good option if you want to detect small objects and don't have a lot of data sets. Here's another example with drones in the sky. And we also have here an aerial view of cars driving on the road. Here's another example where we're trying to track the soccer ball. And this one here, we have some airplanes in the sky. So we start off by playing with this example where the robot is picking up orange and brown objects. So you could play with the sensitivity here. You can see when it's all the way to the left, it doesn't detect anything. And then all the way to the right, it detects almost everything. So you want to find a happy medium here to see where it could detect only the orange squares. It's about right here. You can see it gets most of it. Sometimes it gets a flicker or two with the brown ones, but that might just be some adjusting you have to do. And you could also come here. You could relabel some of the objects. You could see which one is good or bad, and the bad ones you could exit out. So you could see that we could jump to different frames here by selecting a different part. And once you do that, you have more instances of how it's performing. So if we move the slider, you can see that we could make it get more accurate results. So you can see right here, there's some brown ones that we want to avoid. So that's why I'm dragging this down. And you can see once you're kind of satisfied with the result, you could click approve here. So this will help improve the model performance. You can see there's still a few ones that I miss, but that could just be more fine tuning that I could do to make it improve the model. So this other example here, we're detecting drones flying in the sky. You could see that sometimes the drones, when it's passing through the mountains, it can't really detect it. And I think because the background is dark and the drones are dark, so it doesn't quite stand out. So here you could try to adjust the sensitivity again. You can see there's some noise it picks up, so you don't want to choose too many. But in this case, I feel like you may have to, okay, so when we choose somewhere here, it tends to detect some of the drones that's in the dark, which is pretty impressive, but it still does miss a few. So what you can do is you could relabel some of the objects. So we could choose some frames here where it can see some of the drones in the dark. We'll choose some different frames to see the ones that it misses. But most of these, it seems to be getting it. Let's see one of the earlier ones, it might be some that is missing. But right now it seems to be catching most of it. We could run on the entire video again to see if anything changes. But so far you can see now, I think with the sensitivity, it got most of it. This one right here, it was kind of struggling. But for the most part, I would say it got about 90% of the drones. Now with this car example, you can see that it did pretty well. I think it was able to detect almost all the cars in this video without any issues. So for this one, we didn't have to do much adjusting. But just for comparison, we could see if we make the adjustment to the highest, you can see it tends to detect other things down here that it thinks is cars. And if we go all the way to less, you don't see anything, right? So this right here by default, somewhere in the middle, tends to do pretty well and is able to get it pretty accurately at every frame. This other example was with a soccer ball. You can see for the most part, it tends to detect the ball correctly. There's a few instances where you see a flash in the back thinking that the shoe is the ball. You can see there for a split second. So that might require some adjusting here. I'm gonna turn the less parameter a little bit more. So hopefully it won't detect the shoe. You can see now it doesn't detect the shoe in the back as the ball. So that definitely helped pick that up. You can see if I change it to the far right, it thinks all these different things in the background are balls, which is not right. So for this one, we just needed a slight adjustment to more on the left side for the slider, and it was able to do a pretty good job in just a few seconds. If you're new to my channel, make sure to check out some of the resources I have. I have a lot of things on robotics and AI, so make sure to check it out.